हाँ, जय सच्चिदानंद।
जय सच्चिदानंद पुलिनाथ जी। जय सच्चिदानंद ललिता बहन।
Jai Sachidan, Jai Sachidan. Sorry, I'm just trying to connect to my headphones.
Okay. Well, I think. Oh, you were not connected. You're connecting now?
Yes.
Okay. Let us see it works. Say something once you're connected.
I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, let's try again.
Okay, Pulinanji, Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Can you just remember, please? Pulinanji?
हाँ,
Three mantra.
त्रिमंत्र ओके।
That's
नमो
like it.
विद्रागाय,
Namo Vitragai,
नमो अरिहंताणां,
Namo Arihantanam,
नमो सिद्धाणां,
Namo Siddhanam,
नमो आयर्याणां,
Namo Ayariyanam,
नमो वज्रायाणां,
Namo Uvazayanam,
नमो लोये सव साहुणां।
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam,
ऐसो पंचनमुक्तारो
Eso Panchanmukkaro,
सर्वभावपनासनो
Savapavapanasano,
मङ्गलाणं च सर्वेषां
Manglanam Chasavesim,
परमं हवै मङ्गलम्।
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमः शिवाय।
Om Namah Shivaya.
जय सच्चिदानंद।
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay, Lalita Ben, you're the only one. So you can have all the stocks you have for the last 4 weeks.
I just want to. We were reading in Aptavani 2 about. Sorry. We were reading in Aptavani 2 about Agyna Shakti and Vyavasthit Shakti. So I was just going to read that little thing in English and see what. You know what Dada says is every individual has his Agyna Shakti, and collectively it leads to Vyavasthit Shakti. And I was just trying to see here. Here it is. Okay. Of the two Shaktis, you have derived the Agyna Shakti through the ego by saying, I'm the doer. This Agyna Shakti is independent in everyone and it applies to everyone. When all the Agyna Shakti comes together, it gives rise to Vyavasthit Shakti. Everyone has Agyna Shakti, everyone has a regulator of the world attributed to his worldly account. And because of this, all the work will continue. Therefore, you do not have to do anything. The worldly life will continue on its own. Who has the understanding and knowledge as to why the light comes into this man's eyes and why it goes away? The doctors are simply instrumental nimits in this process. How can they save a person's life? Indeed, if the doctor was able to save lives, why could he not save his own parents? This world runs according to Vyavasthit Shakti, and so does the worldly interaction, Vyavhar. Agyna Shakti is the force which perpetuates worldly life, Adhikaran Kriya, and Agyna Shakti remains right until the very end in the seeker of the karmic path. At the very end, Agyna Shakti leaves when Prajna Shakti arises. Prajna Shakti then takes on one to the final liberation. Here in the Akram path, Prajna arises immediately upon attaining the self in the Jnana Vidhi. So when he says that collective, when all the Agyna Shakti comes together, it gives rise to Vyavasthit Shakti. Could you just explain that?
Basically, Agna Shakti means the Agna of each and every individual human being, So collectively, the Agna Shaktis, that means the desire. Desire, the Agna is basically intellect, and ego. Intellect plus ego is Agna Shakti. So everyone does a desire, na? Supposing a man desires, I want to do business. So that is his Agna Shakti, his desire. Then someone says, I want to supply material. So that is his desire and Agna. Someone wants to say, I want to buy this stuff. So that is his Agna Shakti. So what nature does is individual Agna Shaktis, they are brought together, and then it is then executed according to their wishes. And when it is executed, it is called Vyavasthit. That means what will happen is because of the collective Agna Shaktis, that is a collective charging bhav, the discharge will take place and each individual will get the discharge that he has desired. So the one who wanted to do business he will start business. The one who wanted to supply material will be able to supply material to this person who wants to do business. Then one wants to buy material will come to this person who is doing the business. And that's how Vyavasthit Shakti then executes the individual Agna Shakti desires to each every individual later on.
So this
So,
everyone has a regulator of the world attributed to his worldly account. And because of this, all the work will continue.
regular the world, that's one way of putting things. Essentially, all the six elements are functioning, they are just there. And as one makes desires, how those atoms are charged. And then collectively, all those charging of desires in that Vyavasthit, it gets accumulated and then it then gets executed as per the individual wishes. So that is the a very subtle way Dada has put it in words to the best possible extent that how the world operates, and it is an accumulation of all the individual desires basically, and that gives a result. To give one more example of that, Dada Bhagwan used to say that in Africa, nature is abundant. There is no shortage of rainfall. Then you have crops growing very easily, no fertilizers required, very fertile land, and generally everything is very good. Now, why? Because the people living over there haven't developed, have a very subtle ego. The ego is not developed. Their kashais are not developed, so they are extremely sahaj. And when they are not doing any dako or interference, I want this and I don't want that. So when there is no dako, the nature plays its parts very well. So the collective goodwill of all. I mean, at least there is no negative vibrations. So nature also gives all the positive things. So that is how, just to illustrate how the collective individual Agna Shakti results into collective Vyavasthit. So their Vyavasthit is very goody because there are no negative vibes. Whereas in other countries, or especially in India, where there are n number of negative vibrations, this, that. So you have n number of sufferings also because collectively everything goes. So this is just to understand how individual Agna Shaktis go into the computer. Dada Bhagwan just gave an analogy of a computer to Vyavasthit. And then all the feeds, inputs go in, and the output is executed according to the individual.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's how
that's
I
what individual
understood it
Agna
too.
Shakti takes place as Vyavasthit Shakti.
So we can consider ourselves as a peripheral terminal and Vyavasthit Shakti is the central terminal.
Or one of the things in this world. Like, supposing this world, just to give a little similar analogy, supposing the world, you just compare it to a huge farmland. So each one can plant whatever he wants. I want to plant wheat, I want to plant rice, someone roses, and he gets the output of that. So whatever how we do, we get it. So Vyavasthit is just all pervading, and based on that, not at the periphery, but I would say into it. Then we are part of the Brahman. So into it, whatever bhav we do, so accordingly, atoms are charged, and then execution takes place. But the collective execution of all atoms together, of my individual, others individual, is Vyavasthit's part.
Right.
So person wants to get married to a particular type of a girl or a boy, so his desires will be there. So based on that, a similar girl or boy will be there who will desire that I want to also marry such a person. And bringing together of two such individuals is Vyavasthit's part.
Correct. Correct.
So it's a very complex thing, but Dada has given a oversimplified version of how it is operating, so that we get an inkling of what Vyavasthit is. And the whole purpose of Dada, your question is answered, but I'm going a little step ahead. The whole purpose of Dada unveiling this concept of Vyavasthit was that in this era of tremendous hardships, Kali-yuga, people will not be able to be worry free. Tensions about the future, worries about the future. So, two Mahatmas, he has unveiled that this is how nature is operating. The virus is the operating energy, which he does talk in English. He calls it as scientific circumstantial evidence. And so, don't panic from birth to death. Whatever you have charged in the previous birth, but by way of Vyavasthit, so it will get executed in this birth by way of Vyavasthit. Vyavasthit operates on the mind body stage. So everything is sort of predestined, sort of. What they in the Kramik mark call it as Prarabdha. Here Dada gives an enlarged version of Vyavasthit. But Dada says, don't just sit idle on that. You have to put in your normal efforts, and then when whatever the results come, that you accept as Vyavasthit.
Correct.
Otherwise, you say, Jo hoga, wo hoga, then you will just sit idle, which is wrong, which is misuse of this Agnya. And to make a person understand the misuse, he says, if that were the case, would you walk on the road, eyes closed, that if or drive on the road with eyes closed, if accident
Exactly.
were to happen, then
Exactly.
happen. So there, as you do normal precautions of alertness, similarly you do it. Result you will able to Vyavasthit. Afterwards, you say, "Oh, this was part of my Vyavasthit." So just to explain this, he has unveiled the concept of Vyavasthit, and then how Vyavasthit operates as individual feeds of individual humans as inputs as Avasthit, and then execution as part of Vyavasthit. So why you got such a family member? Family member could be spouse, children, parents, in-laws, whatever. And why such a thing is happening? So then that to explain that, he says that was what you had charged in the previous, which is now playing a part. So you just be an observer. You observe what's happening to file number one, the events unfolding in front of it, favorable or unfavorable to our liking, not to our liking, and be an observer. So this helps us to be worry free about the future and to remain anchored in the pure soul awareness and remain an observer of file about. That's why this Vyavasthit. And it is said that if you understand Vyavasthit, as I said, if you understand Vyavasthit in toto, at the subtlest level, Sukshmatam, then other hand, Keval Gnan, absolute knowledge will unveil. So the school or the physical, the gross level, we are able to understand. And gradually, as we progress in Gnan, as we progress in our awareness increases, we will be able to observe the subtle nuances of Vyavasthit playing out in our lives. So that is the beauty of Vyavasthit. And
Yes,
it's
I mean,
important.
it's layers, you know. It's like, it's not just a blanket statement. It's like there's subtleties to it.
Yes, many subtleties, many subtleties,
Hmm.
many subtleties. Many subtleties. Ah,
I don't know where that background noise is coming from.
It's from Deepakanandji. Okay.
ah, oh,
Okay.
yeah. Oh,
Okay, thank
yes.
you. Jai Sachidanand.
Yes.
Miraben?
Meera was actually going to ask this question and she hadn't come on, so I asked it for her.
Jai Sachidan, thank you. And Lalyanti explained it perfectly. I would have gotten confused in the explanation. Always Pulinanji and Deepakanandji no, but I'm just saying. So Jai Sachidan, thank you, Auntie. That was perfect explanation. I have one question about Vyavasthit. Does Vyavasthit, from what this gross understanding, as you were mentioning, is Vyavasthit working only on Parmanus? Siddha Setra, when we go to Siddha Kshetra, there's no Vyavasthit there, correct? Am I
Correct,
understanding that correctly?
correct.
Ah, so
Because
it
there is
all
no charging, so there is no discharging.
so it's only working at the Paramanu level.
In our Brahman, in our cosmos.
Huh. Mm.
Yeah,
So
basically it
mm,
is Vyavasthit is nothing but laying out of the discharge
ah
based on the individual charges.
ah
Whatever individual has charged in form of desires or in the form of karmas,
mm,
Vyavasthit is only an executive agency which
mm.
executes your charges to your desires.
In that, but in even when you come out of the Nigod state, once that soul comes out of Nigod, immediately Vyavasthit starts working on that form.
No, no,
Correct?
no, no,
No, no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no. Ah,
See, Vyavasthit starts only up. Vyavasthit is a discharging agency. So
mm,
it
mm,
will come to force when
mm.
there is a charge.
Oh,
Now, when
only when there's
charging
a
of karmas takes place only in human being, when that ego starts, I am so and so.
ah
Till that time, from
ah
say one sense living creature to two sense, three sense, four sense, five sense,
mm,
if it comes to a human form, it's
mm,
all a part of a natural flow, uh, which
mm.
uh, the word for that is niyati. Niyati.
Niyati.
It's
Ah.
a it's
Mm,
a natural flow of
mm,
all living creatures,
mm,
and
mm,
nature does that. That is brings one from one sense living creature to two sense, three sense. So
mm,
that is in the hands of nature.
mm,
And then when he comes into the human being, and then whatever he starts charging, then the
mm.
discharging part starts. Then Vyavasthit starts from there.
Oh. So
That too, bolo.
no, no, no. So no, I'm only confirming what you're saying. Pulinanji and Jai Sachidan, Pulinanji and Deepakanandji and Rajni Kaka and all Mahatmas, Jai Sachidan and Lalli Aunty. I didn't even say this when I started. I just jumped into the question. So Jai Sachidan. So thank you. So it's like we have in the charging body, this charging body, which is human, we charge and then we discharge. In that discharge, sometimes we go to Tiryanchgati, sometimes we come back in the form of a dog, sometimes all of that is discharge, but also controlled by Vyavasthit Shakti, correct? Ah.
Vyavasthit Shakti is an agency
Mm,
which executes the life form, the next life form, next birth.
mm, mm. It's so subtle. I'm grasping the so only it only comes into play once you get human birth. Not if
Yes.
you're insect or some 3, 4.
No.
No.
Because no charging takes place in those forms.
So it comes into play during the time the ego gets formed. Okay. And then once that, then you go into the cycle, continuous cycle, and it'll keep the Vyavasthit Shakti will remember technically for you what you have in the, like Lalyanti was asking now, in the Agyna Shakti, what you have, what that body or that charge has occurred. And then make sure in this multiple calculation how to discharge that.
Right.
So that's so so it's like a big computer, but not necessarily a computer, but it is sort of in that.
The analogy of computer is just to tell that there are various inputs, and based on the software or the program, outputs are generated.
Okay. And then once that final Parmanu goes, this is again all due to Satsang with Lalyanti. Okay. That final and you both, Deepakanandji and Pulinanandji, that final Parmanu goes to Vishrata state. And the Shuddhatma is fully known and goes to Shuddha Kshetra, then no more charging occurs, no more need for discharge. So Vyavasthit only stays in that level. And it will take you, it's the train that also takes you to where that final Parmanu attains the Vishrata state. Am I correct in that understanding?
Now, you see, Vishwasar state is a process which it has started for Mahatmas, for like us. So, as much as we are able to remain observer, nata drashta, knower and what will happen is those Parmanus are anyway getting cleansed out, cleared out, or becoming Vishwasar. So that process has started in a small way. Then, depending on one's awareness, the more and more Parmanus become 100% pure, that is Vishwasa. What will remain will get cleansed out in the next 1 or 2 births. On an average. It could be a little more for some, but on an average. So, Vishwasa, we have brought new charging as ceased, and only the discharge part remains.
Okay.
So, we are cleansing it out. So, rather than get into all the complexities or the thing, subtleties, it will automatically come in our vision as we advance in our Agnya and Gnana and awareness. You see, Parmanus are there only in this cosmos, in this Brahman. And when all the atoms are cleansed, when Keval Gnan, absolute knowledge is this thing unveiled, then automatically after some time, when the body life form, the Ayusha Karma is over, the soul will automatically go up, and it will just stay at Siddha Kshetra. It is at the boundary of the Brahman.
Okay.
So over there, it will just remain, because beyond that, there is no Gati Sahayak Tattva element to aid motion. So it will just remain over there and remain in its permanent bliss, no overseer status.
Perfect.
There are only 2 elements, the element of space and the element of the pure soul. Only 2 elements are there. The remaining 4 are not there. So no charging of karmas, no discharging of karmas, just remaining in a permanent blissful state of knower and seer.
Okay. Jai Sachidanand. Thank you. Jai Sachidanand.
Deepakanandji, you there? Okay. Deepakanandji? No, he's not. Okay, Rani?
Okay, Jai Sachidanand,
Sachidanand.
Pulinanandji,
Just give me 5 seconds. I'll have to close my door. There's a lot of rain over here, a lot of noise coming.
sure.
Just give me 5 seconds.
Okay.
How are you, Rani?
I'm very good, Uncle. How are you?
Good, good, doing good.
Staying
That's
busy. There's lots of outbreaks, Uncle. Don't eat any raw vegetables right now.
okay. Oh, that's good.
Parasitic outbreak all throughout the US. So
No traveling?
no traveling until September.
Oh, okay.
Apparently we have enough problems in the US.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Rani.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand Pulinanandji.
Yes.
So this is following up on the satsang that
Can you speak a little louder?
yes. So this is following up on the satsang questions that Meera and my mom had about Vyavasthit. But my question, I'm having a little confusion. So the material, the six eternals, right? So the matter, soul, time, space, are those the things, like, are those considered the circumstantial evidences? Like, when we talk about, charging and discharging, is it that the discharge comes in the culmination of six eternals? Is that what we're saying? Like, I'm confused about Vyavasthit Shakti versus the six eternals. Is there a connection, or are those two different concepts?
No, it's absolutely connected. Absolutely connected. See, Vyavasthit is what? Vyavasthit is a discharging agency in very plain, simple words. Okay. Now, discharge will come from where? Based on what we have charged. Okay.
Yes.
So, based on whatever causes or bhav karma, so and so the discharging agency will execute. Now, when we are charging, we are automatically charging all the six elements. If I say I want to be a doctor and serve people in the rural areas, that's one bhav. Automatically, I have charged atoms, I have charged space, I have charged motion aiding,
Oh.
discharging, all those components get charged. And then
Oh, okay.
execution takes place. So the remaining four elements are aiding the execution. They are aiding the Vyavasthit play out. So based on
Okay.
that, I will get a suitable parents. I will get suitable medical college. I'll become a doctor. Then I will that space, that time, all that the motion to go to college, motion to serve the rural area. So the motion aiding element, the halting element, space, time, all those are automatically sucked in, and then they play out.
Okay.
What we are really, the real crux is, basically two elements, the soul element and the Parmanu element. Only the coming together of these two, a third event takes place, Vibhavik Avastha, or that the ego erupts. The mutual coming together of the remaining elements, no third element takes place, you see. That's where the ego, that's where the charging agency takes place. And the
Okay.
discharging, these are only aiding elements.
Okay. Okay. And
We are essentially charging all the six when we charge.
okay. Okay. That was
To
my
greater or lesser extent.
yeah. And then, so, like, really the only good
Just before one second,
sure.
just to give a very simple analogy, you have
Mhm.
26 alphabets in the English language.
Yes.
Now, with these 26 alphabets, you can compose so many sentences, so many stories, so many poetry, so much of literature, just a combination of those 26 alphabets, so many words, so many sentences. So these words are
Understood.
aiding what you want to do. So these six elements are only aiding what you charge.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Okay. So then the only real thing to desire is the pure soul state. Like if we've desired that, then that's the only good desire to have. All other desires are going to keep us bound to this cycle.
Basically, we have to come back to our original pure self
state.
We have to come back to original pure. I was the pure soul, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite vision. Because of coming together of this Parmanu, that I has got misplaced into I, the body. Now, from I, the body, I have realized that I am the pure soul. So now I desire to come back to I, the absolute I. I want to come back to my original state and disengage from all the Parmanus, the body, the life forms, the births and rebirths.
Okay. And it will
So you have to only
happen.
desire in one line moksha.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the only desire.
In the process, we may have some desires
Yeah.
to attain that goal. We
Mm.
may have some desires that Dada, may I have the strength to practice the five agnas, may I have the strength to remain in sanyam for kashayas, may I get the strength so that all the parmanus get cleansed out.
Okay.
So these are some desires to achieve the end goal of liberation or moksha, permanent state of bliss, free from life and birth.
Okay. Thank you, Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Okay, Lalita Ben, now you ask your question. You ask Miraben's question. Lalita Ben?
No. That was what we have been talking about today. So I was waiting on her. I'm not sure that I have a question here, but I'll just bring up a thing that I had read in Dada's discussions with Dr. Radhe.
Okay.
He said in one listing that he's had all the remnants of all the previous Tirthankars that have landed on his lap, and that he's had to he's had the task of having to get them freedom, like give them moksha. So I like we the rejects from the previous janmas, what should I say, the rejects from all the other Tirthankars. So, I mean, while I was reading that and I was thinking only Dada's Karuna could pull us out of this depths that we were in.
Right.
He has said
Dada
that, right?
Yeah, 100%. Dada said the same thing. That all the, there's a sieve and you sieve the grains and the kachra remains. So all the kachra of the 24 Tirthankas has come to me now.
Yes.
In the presence of the first Tirthankar, many people attained moksha. Those who could not attain but wanted to, they spilled over into the second Tirthankar's lifetime. There some attained, still who could not attain, they came to the third. So that way they came to the 24th, and all the leftovers of the 24th Tirthankar has now come to in the fifth era. All those who wanted to liberate, but for some little reason, chutney jehu soup, Dada used to say, little worldly happiness, they got entangled. So all those people have come to me as my task to liberate them, because they wanted an easy path to liberation, hardship-free path to liberation, no severe austerities to be done. The karmic mark, you have to give up worldly life, you have to walk barefooted, and very severe austerities. So people who wanted moksha the easy way, severe, without any austerities. And Dada also had the desire that I will only go to moksha when I get this path of liberation minus the severe austerities. A simple householder can also attain moksha. I will only go to moksha when I get this path. The path he had seen Dada Bhagwan, first Tirthankara, give to his son Bharat Chakravarti. And so he remained as a king and attained moksha. So when I get such a path, I will go. So that Dada's desire, and all of us who wanted a simple path to moksha, nature put both the people together in this fifth era, and all of us have benefited from that. And that's how Dada says, okay,
Amazing.
I have got all the rejected material. That is why he says minus mark vada. People with
Right.
all negative attributes, I have to lift them and take them to moksha. But in lighter vein, in other words, he also says, but no, nothing like our Mahatmas. Our Mahatmas are also very good. On one hand, although he said the kachra, then he says, no, they are good. So that's how Dada used to balance it out, Syadwaj. So Dada says, I have given you Keval Gnan, I will give you everything. Now you have to pick it up and move on. And in case you get entangled or in case you get stuck, you ask, you pray to me for strength. I will give you the strength and the vision to move forward. So Dada has just not only given knowledge, he has given the full backing that wherever you are stuck, you depend on me, Ashrit on Dada Bhagwan, the Gnani Purusha. You depend on me, fall back on me. I will pull you out or give you the strength and the vision to face your karmas, to face your hardship karmas, so that you again anchor in five agnas, you again anchor in Vidrata, pure soul awareness. Like that.
Yeah, I have another question. I went to 2 weddings over the last 2 weekends, 3 weekends, I would say. And in all that crowd, I kept thinking, I was trying to see Shuddhatma and everybody, and that what is happening is Vyavasthit. But I felt so separate, and I felt, a little superiority complex. I got something you guys don't have. And is that little ego creeping up in me?
Before you said, I felt so, you said separate, you said.
No, I felt separate. I mean, I felt that I was just watching everything play out, that wedding, this wedding,
So you got
ran
separate in
into,
which?
in the
In,
sense that I was seeing I was trying to see Shuddhatma and everybody, and that all this was happening, but it was kind of boring to me because, you have to go through the rituals and you have to sit and wait for all the things. But at the same time, I felt how fortunate I am that I have something that none of you have. Is that kind of an ego trip that I'm on?
maybe yes and no. You see, that will happen to all of us whenever we are in such functions where we are the only Mahatmas, others are non-Mahatmas. So they get entangled into their bodily activities, Tanmayakar. For us, we remain separate because for us, this is not a source of any happiness. It's just an event. So we remain just observers, see the pure soul. So that is good. You may feel you are calm and composed, you're Vitrag, and others are panicky, panicky, they feel good and bad. So a subtle sense of fortunism comes in. I'm fortunate than you people. That will happen, but we have to be alert to it, which you were, and then just tell that by see it was your punya that you got Dada Bhagwan. If and if you had not got Dada Bhagwan, you would be sailing
Be
in
the
the same
same
boat.
state as, yes.
You would be in the same state as the others. So no need to feel proud about it, no garvaras. You can be fortunate and thankful to Dada Bhagwan. Dada, thank
Yes.
you. You have made me remain composed. So in case that superiority complex, a subtle level of superiority complex does arise, tell the intellect, see, you just because you have got Dada, you have not got, you would be over there. So you feel blessed, and you could perhaps do one thing to enrich that boring situation. Hey Dada Bhagwan, may the welfare of all these people around me take place. In sabka kalyan. You know. Then you're going into a karuna state rather than a superiority state.
Yes.
Ah, ah.
That's
So,
kind
so
of
the,
dangerous, because when you go into this Laukik functions, like I got something you don't have, just like little kids, you kind of
ah,
gloating feeling.
yes, that will happen. That will happen. In fact, years down, when many years ago on TV, we have many spiritual channels, Asta and all that. So various spiritual leaders and gurus give discourses and all. And when we listen to them, we feel, oh, this is so low level. We have got such a high level thing. So then, for a brief time, that will happen because but then we have to again control ourselves. इनका भी कल्याण हो. May their welfare take place. And I'm fortunate. May they be fortunate and become Lagu. Basically, we have to again come down to the Lagu.
Yes, yes.
So catching and watching this ego, our discharge ego, is the crux. The awareness of that this is playing out. The pride of having got Dada Bhagwan is playing out. So that we should just keep a watch, and then
be alert
when
to.
such ego takes place, I just put a pin and deflate the ego. And deflate it just because of Dada. What if you had not got Dada?
Yes,
You'll be worse off than them.
yes,
So that's how
definitely.
and more than that, Abhi, this is only the beginning. Then as we as Mahatmas, one another state will also come as Mahatmas gradually progress in our Gnan, gradually are able to express, do Purusharth reasonably well, and they understand the other science reasonably well. And then they feel, oh, I've understood this, I know this, I know that. He doesn't know this, I know this, I know this. I've understood, I know the science. That is one critical zone all of us will pass through, and we have to overcome that if and when it arrives.
Oh my
That if you
goodness.
really know, then why are you seeing others as faulty? If you really know, then why are you getting, into clashes or whatever way? You have to just deflate the ego and then tell that Dada Bhagwan knew everything that was to be known in the entire Brahman, yet he remained Lagutam. So
Yes.
who are you to say, I have known everything? If Lagutam is not there, then you have not known everything. So this is just a balancing key to a thing which it arises in future to be taken care of. It happens. We have all
To
of
be
us to
aware of
pass
it,
through that state.
Yes. Because it can just sneak up on you because it starts sounding fika, that whatever you're listening to, it doesn't appeal, even if they're trying to do satsang or trying to tell you from their viewpoint, because you've heard from Dada himself, who's talking who's seen everything like at the edge of Siddhakshetra. He's telling you what it's like over there. And everybody else from the bottom is trying to describe to you what it is on the top, So when
Yes,
you
yes.
hear
So
that,
it will happen. It will happen. So we have to develop the compassion. We have to develop the compassion to accept the state they are in and may their welfare take place and just proceed without being judgmental of superiority and inferiority.
correct.
So we have to develop that piece of compassion. Dada would have felt so superior, na? I am the giver of Gnan. So 24 Tirthankars Tirthankar na gadwaya. I know I'm chiseling Tirthankars, Bhavi Tirthankars. So I'm great. Dada said, Bhagwan mane wash થઈ ગયા છે. The Lord, I have conquered the Lord within. Can you imagine a person making that profound statement and remaining Lagutam?
Yes.
So we
I
can
mean,
draw upon,
you
we
have
can
to
draw
see it
inspiration
to
from that.
believe it. Yes. I'm really grateful for that exposure that I'm able to recall quite a bit of satsang, but which I thought, at that time I couldn't understand anything, that none of it stayed in my head. But now, as the avrans are opening up, I'm able to recall quite a lot of satsangs that Dada did. I mean, what he did in Oak Ridge,
At that time, you were in the listening state and trying to understand whatever you could not understand. You laid the desires. Dada, मेरे को सब समझ में है, ऐसी कृपा करना. So that is now opening out. That understanding part is now opening out.
Yes, he put his hand on my head because, I was like at the bottom of the class. not knowing the language, not knowing the vocabulary, you know. It was just very hard, but just Dada's grace is what has kind of pulled me through this.
True.
Yeah.
All of us, to a varying extent, all of us.
Thank you. Jai Sachidanand.
Thank you. Jai Sachit.
Deepakanji, did you hear anything you want to comment?
Yes, Jai Sachidanand, Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand.
Dada's ultimate state was because of his ultimate humility.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that real state is highest state, nothing is beyond that. But because of our arrogance, we are not able to achieve that state, experience that state, and live in that state. Dada became humblest, you can say, due to which this state opened within him. So his highest authoritative state was because of his ultimate humility.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no question of getting arrogant, because had it been arrogant, then he would not have attained this ultimate state. So he's also telling us there's no difference between you and me. You're only one step behind me. If you become humblest, then it's all yours. And his living example, exemplary life, showed us how we can attain that state and experience the same freedom and bliss. And that's how it will become useful for others, the way it has become useful to us through Dada Bhagwan. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. Anybody more? Any questions?
I mean, also, can I add something more?
Please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the way you had the chance to listen to Dada one-to-one directly, that time it was not necessary for you to understand, but the way you heard him nicely, you listened to him very carefully, well focused, and that's how everything is opening now. He was telling the same thing. Just listen to this ultimate knowledge. And when the time comes, it will throw you that same light which it is showing to me. Right. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Anybody a question? Okay, Pulinanji, no question. You want to want to add, or what do you want to do, Pulinanji?
All of us are doing wonderful Purusharth in our own ways. And primarily, of course, is the base is the 5 Agnyas. And in addition, whatever understanding we have. In the course of so many years, I found 2 or 3 parameters on which one could work on to advance further in the Gnan. Basically, it's cleansing out of our karmas, or exhausting our discharge karmas, rather cleansing of the prakriti and exhausting of the karmas. So here 2 or 3 things in the prakriti that the Bhagwan has mentioned, that one was Potapon, our design, a bundle of village. And as the Potapon will reduce or diminish, and once it comes to near zero or zero, then you will become like me, a Gnani like me, remain anchored in the pure soul awareness. So one of the things, the scope for Purusharth is observing our own Potapanu. Then the second thing which we happen to discuss today of humility, Dada Bhagwan said Lagutam. So Lagutam in relative matters. Vyavaharma Lagutam. That is the smallest in relative matters. I am the smallest. So there is no discharge ego. I know this much. I have this much wealth. I have this much knowledge, this material possession. Or people look upon to me. I have so much of prestige. So that is all Gurutam or superiority part in the relative matters. So cultivating a vision of being Lagutam in relative matters will help us to become Gurutam in real matters. Means to advance spiritually, to advance our pure soul awareness. So to advance in that, to remain Lagutam in Vyavasthit is one of the milestones or guiding lines that Dada Bhagwan has given. And if you become Lagutam, you will become like me in pure soul. So Potapanu was one thing, Lagutam was another thing. Third thing that happened to come in one of the rooms, Satsang, was Adai, or one
Insistence.
not flow. I don't know what's the right word of English, but to be
Insisting on your way.
crooked. To be insistent on something with against others, not with the flow. You block or you remain stubborn or something like that. So as the adai goes, you can become like me. And these are the three things. And the another thing that happens to be as one of the guiding, a guide as to if I want to see whether am I progressing or not spiritually. One of the parameters would be of how much faultless vision I have attained. In Hindi or Gujarati, it would be Nirdosh Drashti. How much am I able to see others as faultless or innocent? Otherwise, if that is not the case, then I see others at fault, others are guilty, others are wrongdoers, doing wrong and things like that. The opposite of that is they are not the individual doers. They are nirdosh, they are not doshit, they are not guilty, they are innocent. So cultivating that vision is also one of the ways of measuring our spiritual progress. Our spiritual. So these are three things, a few things that had come to my mind. So I thought I'd just share it on this platform.
Oh, that's very nice.
It is a topic of a lot of detailing, but we have the inkling of all this, nothing very new. All of us know all this. The Dada saw everybody nirdosh, so I should also see everything nirdosh. And wherever I see them as a doer, so then that is a scope for Purusharth. So there, Vyavasthit also plays its part. That if Vyavasthit is the doer, I am also not the doer, and the other person, opposite person, is also not the doer. So to see others as non-doers and self also as non-doers will help us to see Vyavasthit as a doer, or Vyavasthit as a doer will help us to remain free from the doership. It's discharge doership, it's not charging category. But there, if I become the doer, then that Garvaras, that superiority complex, as you said,
yes,
there is a scope for that thing to raise its head. Or we, in our normal conversations, we subtly take this, because of me, he got this admission. Because of my guidance, he got this right doctor. Because of me, I helped him. So because of me, this happened. That is that Garvaras, or taking pride in the doership. So this is a scope for Purusha, where we become doers. Well, it's discharge, but just piece of that. I was one of the instruments, and many other supporting evidence take place, and I could support the other person. And if one wants to see it in absolute terms, it is not I who has helped the other person and he has become well, or he has got a job, or he has got a school admission, or whatever. It was his punya that he was to have that admission, that job, that medical treatment, that I was drawn into it, and I was drawn just that it was his or her punya which made me an image in helping him or her to attain whatever he got. So that is the way of looking at it, to come out of that discharge worship also from mine, I as a doer. So that Garvaras will go. And the other side, seeing the other person as a doer, whether good or bad. Person obliges me, oh, he did it. So that is good. But he, because of him, I lost this. Because of him, I suffered. Because of him, this happened to me. Him hurt. Now that doership is also to be watched on. And that is when Nirdosh Drashti or innocent vision will play its part, which will help us to come out of doership. And Vyavasthit is the Karta. He is not the Karta, the opposite person, nor am I the Karta independently. I don't have, because Dada would say, you don't have the power to even go to the toilet independently. You have no independent power. So who are you to say, I did this and I did that? So that's one of the deflating that I ship, I did this. So these are some hints I'm just throwing around, where we don't become doer, other person is not a doer, yours is a doer. And that will help us all around in this innocent vision. And also help us in what we discussed today, in becoming Laguta, becoming Lagu. That will help us going down there also. So I thought I just share this one thing that came up during one of our Zoom satsangs and all, which is a point for further Purusharth for all of us.
Oh, that's a good reminder. Pulinanji.
Jai Sachin.
Jai Sachin. Okay.
Jai Sachin.
Our time is up. Can you do three mantra, please?
Namo Vitragaya,
Namo
Namo
Vitragaya,
Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo
Namo Arihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Uvajjayanam,
Namo Loe Sawa Sahunam,
Namo
Namo
Loe
Loya
Sava
Sahunam.
Sahunam,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Eso
Eso
Pancha
Panchamukharo,
Tava Bhava Panasno,
Sava
Tava Pava Panasno,
Parasano.
Manglanancha Savesem,
Manglanam
Manglanancha
Chisavesam,
Saves.
Padamam Havai Mangalam,
Paramam
Paramam
Bhavai
Bhavai.
Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah
Om Namah
Shivaya.
Shivaya.